So welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a refreshing lunch break. So now we are going to continue with the agenda of today's event. And this is going to be the presentation of the main outcomes of the Account4GreenEco project. As Juliette mentioned earlier in the introductory session, one of the goals of this final conference of this project is to share with you the platform that we have produced. So the goals of this project, or one of the goals of this project, is to foster the integration of sustainability accounting education within university curricula across the European higher education area. And to do so, we have developed this open and online learning platform that seeks to allow students and also lecturers or anyone who is interested in knowing more about sustainability accounting to learn from the materials that we have produced. So in this session, my colleague Esteban Pérez from Gestionet and I, Nicolás García from the University of Burgos, will take you through the process itself, the platform itself, but also through the process that lies behind the platform development. And the reason why we are paying a specific attention to this process is because during the different phases of the platform development, we had the opportunity to actively engage with different stakeholders, particularly educators, students, and also professionals. And these interactions were really, really valuable for us, not only in terms of improving the content of the platform, but also because it allows us to foster and increase awareness about the importance of sustainability accounting education. So once that we defined the overall goal of the project, the first task for us, it was to design the syllabus that will populate the project. And so the course is structured into 3 modules, each of which focusing on specific dimensions of sustainability accounting. And then each module is further divided into 2 units. So the first module of the platform, Sustainability Accounting in the 21st Century, sets the stage for understanding the evolving role of accounting in the context of sustainability. And so the first unit of the module starts by introducing the concept of the Anthropocene as the ecological epoch in which we are living, and then it takes a step back to reflect also about the role that traditional forms of accounting had in... It's not working.
No.
Oh? No, just now. I mean, I think it turned off.
Is it working now?
No, it was on and then suddenly...
Yo como estoy aquí oigo bien. Yo pensaba que estaba encendido.
¿Se me escucha?
Aquí sí,
Tienes-
aquí sí, pero aquí
¿Tienes manos? Sí, ponte otro. ¿Lo escuchas muy claro?
¿Ahora mejor?
Sí, seguro.
Vale, pues voy a utilizar este y ya está. So what I was saying was that we created this course and we designed the syllabus structured into 3 modules. And so I was introducing the content of the first module of the course. And I was saying that in this first unit of this first module, we explained the notion of the Anthropocene, and we characterize this notion as the description of the ecological epoch that we are living in. And then we take a step back to reflect about the role that traditional forms of accounting had throughout history in driving some of the socio-ecological problems that we are experiencing nowadays. And then this unit ends by inviting us to rethink accounting in an alternative way. So to think of accounting not as one of the drivers to this problem, but as a potential instrument that can help us address these complex socio-ecological challenges. Then, in the second unit of this module, we focus on the most common practice that organizations undertake in order to produce sustainability information, which is sustainability reporting, something that has been discussed extensively in the previous panel. And so in this unit, what we do is we explain what sustainability reporting implies. We emphasize the importance of materiality as the central element driving the production of sustainability reports. And then we also describe the main frameworks and standards that organizations can apply in order to produce disclosures about their sustainability-related impacts, risks, and opportunities. Then in the second module, we turn the attention to the regulatory landscape and the importance of assessing social and environmental impacts. And so in this first unit of this module, we provide a characterization of the sustainability reporting landscape in Europe in terms of the regulatory demands that organizations must comply. We know that this is an uncertain setting, and so the descriptions that we provide are at a higher level, so that the notions that appear in this unit can be applicable also to further developments of the regulation. Then, in the second unit, we see the attention to how to measure and assess social and environmental impacts. And in doing so, we emphasize the importance of considering the change that organizational activities drive in terms of improving people's well-being or in creating changes in the social and ecological systems with which they interact. And in doing so, we also emphasize and underscore the importance of engaging with the stakeholders in terms of deciding how we should measure the sustainability performance of an organization. And then the third module pays attention to the internal use of sustainability information for decision-making and for defining corporate strategies. So the first unit of this module focuses on sustainability management accounting and introduces different forms in which organizations can integrate sustainability information in order to drive change within their organizations, something which was also discussed in one of the previous panels, the importance of producing data not just for reporting, but also for creating change, for making decisions within the organizations. And then the second module focuses or relies on this notion of sustainability management accounting to introduce different sustainability management controls that can be used in order to align employee behavior and organizational actions with the sustainability goals of the corporation. And in doing so, it also emphasizes the importance of not only reporting about the harm generated, but also it encourages organizations to account for the positive transformations that they can also create. So this syllabus represents an introductory course for the notions or for the different ideas that lies behind sustainability accounting. It does not seek to be a specialized or a deep dive course. It seeks to be a starting point for anyone that wishes to engage in sustainability accounting education. So the process that we follow to produce the materials that you can see on the platform or that you will see on the platform in a minute were produced through what we call the Account4GreenEco roadmap. And basically, the first step of this road involved the production of the materials by the academic partners. So each partner that was expert in the different topics that are covered by the modules developed the initial version of these materials. And these materials were then subject to 2 rounds of revision. The first one was an internal revision by other project members in order to increase their quality and also to ensure the coherency between the content of the different units and modules. And then the revised version based on this feedback was subject to an external feedback by practitioners that were selected by DIRSE among their associates. And the reason why we did this is because we want these materials not only to be theoretically sound, but also to be relevant from a practice-oriented perspective. So once that the revised version of these materials were finished, we started with the integration of these materials in the platform. And this process was led by our technological partner, Gestionet. So Gestionet worked closely with the academic partners that produced the materials in order to ensure that they were integrated in the platform in a way that we can reach the learning objectives that were expected for the different units that we produced. Then, once the materials were available on the platform, we also tested the use by organizing what we call teaching activities. So the project has, I don't know whether I should use the present or the past because we are just finishing. So the project has a lifetime of 3 years, and we produce each module in each of these 3 years. So at the end of this year, we organize a teaching activity to test the module that we produced during that period. So the first teaching activity, or let me take a step back, the teaching activities are a set of activities that we organized by selecting 6 students from the 4 academic institutions that participate in the project. So in each activity, we had 24 students that participated in the activities fully funded by the project, and these activities were hosted in the different cities that the institutions are located. And so in the first teaching activity that took place at the University of Trento in Italy in October 2023, we gathered 24 students from the four universities to test the materials of Module 1. And the feedback that we received from them was quite useful for us because it allows us not only to improve the content of the platform, but also to think about the overall design of the platform so that we can make it more interactive and also to keep them more engaged. And this was quite instrumental for us in terms of also improving the design of the subsequent modules. Then we had the second activity at the University of Leuphana in Lüneburg in Germany in November 2024. And in that teaching activity, we could test the revised materials of Module 1 based on the feedback from the first teaching activity, and then also the newly created materials of Module 2. And then the last teaching activity was organized a few months ago in Burgos, here in Spain, in September 2025. And there the students had the possibility of engaging with all the content of the platform, but especially the content of the last module, the third module. So after integrating the feedback that we received from the students in this third teaching activity, we moved to the most intense phase of sharing and promotion of this project. We've been engaging in dissemination activities since the early beginning, but it was not until the platform was finished that we started to publicly advertise the platform. And in order to do that, we have organized 2 sharing and promotion activities. So the first sharing and promotion activity took place in Montpellier the first week of October of 2025. And for this activity, we invited 28 university educators engaged in sustainability accounting. And the purpose of this activity was, on the one hand, to share with them the platform that we have created, to encourage them to try to integrate this content in their own courses or in future initiatives that they may undertake. But also, we organized this activity as a space for discussion, as a space for collaboration. So it was a space where we had debates, where we could think as a community how we can advance together sustainability accounting education in the future. And now we are at the final selling and promotion activity of this project, which is this very final conference. And as Juliet mentioned, the purpose of this activity is twofold. On the one hand, to present the platform, but also to continue fostering dialogue between academics, but this time not only among academics, between academics and practitioners, because it is important for us to know what they need so that we can adjust our content and our teaching to the needs from practice. So before I give the floor to my colleague, Estíbaliz Pérez, I just want to mention that from an academic perspective, we encountered a challenge when we were producing the materials, which is that we needed to move from this traditional form of creating teaching materials to an online form of creating materials so that we could keep the student or the user engaged. And it was here that the expertise of Gestionet in creating learning platforms was quite useful and quite instrumental in order to make that transition. And with further ado, I give the floor to Estíbaliz.
Thank you, Nico. Okay, hello everybody. Let's see what is the famous platform we are talking about. Okay, as Nico has said very well, we have the challenge of becoming that material in an interactive material inside a platform. So in that moment, we had to take 2 decisions. The first one was how the platform was going to be, the type of platform, the design of the platform, and the other one was about the material, the content, okay? There were 2 decisions, and regarding the content, it was important to take decisions about the gamification and the structure of the content. Okay, Regarding the platform, there are three things I think it's important to comment or to tell you. The first one is that the platform that we have created offers the students an intuitive experience. This is very important because we are talking about a platform that will be used in different universities from different countries for different purposes, and there is no training previous to the use of the platform. So it has to be a platform that gives a very easy experience to teachers and students that are going to use it, because it comes without instructions. You have instructions inside of it, but what we want for teachers and students is to enter into the platform and know exactly how it works without previous knowledge. So it's the same that happens with the different platforms for streaming that we normally use. I'm not going to say the names, all of us know what type of platforms are them. And when we enter in one of them, we don't need instructions because we know exactly where we have to click to see what we want to see. We wanted to do something similar with this type of platform because we can give support, but we are not there with the teachers in the classroom to tell them how to use it. The second important thing we also took into account when we created the platform was the multi-platform. As I have said before, it's a platform that will be used in different countries, different universities. So it has to be a platform that can be used from different devices, laptops, computers, smartphones. It doesn't mind, because what we want is to everybody. It doesn't mind the laptop or the technological tool that you are using. You will be able to enter into the platform in any place, in any time. And the third one is the accessibility. This platform can be accessed via link from any search engine without the need of downloading any software. This is very important because you can access from home, but you can also access from university, and you can continue in the learning path in any place at any time, okay? Sometimes when people have to download the softwares, it's more difficult for them to use that types of platforms, because the law in each university also with that is different, okay? I think that these 3 points are important to tell, because this makes you understand that we are talking about a very friendly platform and easy to use platform. Regarding the content, I have told before that there were 2 decisions to think about. One was the structure. As Nico has said before, we have 3 different modules divided in 6 courses. The Module 1, Course 1.1, the Module 2, and the Module 3. And here we have a photo, and it's what I have said before. You go into the platform, and it is clear where it's its module and the courses that you can find inside that modules. So the challenge was how to put that content, those 6 courses, in a dynamic way and engaged way for the students. So we used the microlearning. What does this mean? This means that you can have a very large course, but we are not going to put that course here like a PDF for everybody with a lot of hours for learning. What do we do to make it more interesting for students? We divide it in small types of micro-learning. I'm going to show you later, but this means that the learning process is more interesting because you don't see that you are going to learn a lot of hours the same content. You are going to go slowly, and this is very important from a pedagogical point of view. So, what does this mean? I think that here we can see it in a more clear way. We have the course 1.1 inside the platform. Then we have divided that course in different seasons, as those streaming platforms that we know, and inside the seasons we have the different chapters. So once the teacher sees this platform, is able to know without previous learning or training that he or she will go season from season learning different chapters, okay? the seasons will unlock in a sequential way. This means that if they don't pass all the chapters of the season, they will not be able to start with the next season, okay? So the path is very clear inside the platform because you can't go ahead if you haven't finished the learning that you had before, okay? And this is another example of that micro-learning that I was talking about. Instead of having only one course, we have little pills of content in different ways to make it more interesting and dynamic for the students, okay? So I will talk about it later, but these icons that you are seeing here at the top of its chapters means that the chapter is different. The content of the chapter is different. Some of them are videos, some of them are content, and we have mixed all the types to make it more interesting, okay? What type of chapters have we got in the platform? Okay, on the one hand, we have the theoretical content, the theoretical chapters, PDFs, content, videos, because yeah, it's okay to have games and quizzes, but to do that quiz, you have to study or learn something before, okay? So this is an example of the theoretical content that you can find inside the platform. And then this is an example of a video that you can find inside the platform, okay? As you can see, it's a homemade video. I mean, it's not a video taken from YouTube because we made our own videos. We took the content to make our own videos and put them inside the platform, okay? And as I have said before, we also have the gamification inside the platform, those games that we have put inside the content. This is an example because what I have said, we have the theory, but we also use the principle of gamification to make them learn and make an assessment using the different games. We have in total in the platform, I don't know if you used all of them, 16 types of chapters. So there are a lot of types of chapters inside one course. This is one of them. As you can see, you get a score when you answer the question, and this is a very normal quiz known from everybody with 4 options, okay? This is another type of game. I'm not gonna show all the games because we have a lot. You will see them in the platform when you enter there. This is another type of game. It's also an ABCD, but here what you have to do is that you decide once you answer correctly the question if you want to continue playing or not, like this famous TV program that was in the TV years ago. This is another type of chapter. I think that everybody knows this type of game with different letters. What I want to show you using this is the different type of games that we have. It's not only games of questions and answers, that's those typical games that you can find in different platforms. We wanted to use very different games comparing with other platforms. Let's talk about the case studies, because it's okay to learn content, but when the students learn how the sustainability works, we want them to offer the opportunity to put it in practice, taking different decisions. So in this platform, we have also put the case studies. What is this? I'm going to show you some examples now, but while they are learning in the platform the content that my partners have created, they have also the opportunity to put themselves in a case study and take decisions and put in practice what they have learned before. So we have different case studies in the platform, in the different modules, where we put a scenario for the students. And once they start, they will have to take decisions inside of it, and their decisions will have a different ending, okay, in the scenario. So this is a very interesting type of chapter, not only for this, for a lot of types of content. And in this case, for example, it has to take a decision about these two options. Depending on the option that the student takes, we'll go to another question or another question, okay? And this is, for example, another example of a case study that we have in the platform. The same, in this case, we have also put notes that they will have to read before starting the role play, the case study, and it's the same. You have the situation, you have to press the start button, and after pressing it, you will have another situation where you will have going, taking different decisions. This makes the learning process more interesting for students because they are not only having the input, they are also giving an output about what they have learned before. And in all the courses, we have a final assessment, okay? Now they are going to show what they have learned. This is a final assessment with 10 questions that they have, is the final chapter of each course. And they need to do, 7 questions from 10. And if they don't do it okay, they will have to do it again until they pass the exam, the assessment, or the quiz. But they can start also learning what they have learned before, look the notes, make the games, and then do it again, okay? Once they pass the quiz, they got the diploma, the certificate. This is Nico's diploma. Congratulations, Nico.
Price is a red shirt.
And in this diploma is the name of the course. So this is good for students because, well, they get a regard once they have finished. It's not only learn, okay? And also to use in the universities to have a control about who has finished, not. So that's all. To make it easy to find, we have the learning platform inside the website, okay? As I have told before, it's a link that anyone can use in any moment, in a beach, in the university, at home, okay? But you can find it in the website. Where is the website? You can scan the QR code that we have here, and you will go to the website. In that website, well, Nico will tell you now, but you can find in a very big way the learning platform with the button to go to the platform. Thank you very much.
So just a small comment, which is that you can get a certificate for each of the unit, meaning that you can do each unit independently. So you don't need to do the 6, you can do just the one you are interested in. So if you want to do management account, sustainability management accounting, you can do only sustainability management accounting. So it means that the platform is flexible, but you can adjust to the things you are more interested in knowing more about. And just the last slide for this presentation is just this is the platform. This is a platform that is expected to be used online so that most of the time the students will be doing this outside the classroom, but you can also access the materials that we have produced in a PDF format so that it can be perhaps easier for you to take bits or to use some part of those materials in your own teaching courses. So if you go to the webpage of the project and you click on deliverables, there is a less specific section where you can download the different materials of the different modules.